So you're a smart business committed to innovation, to service and to modern marketing, and you're asking, what's next? Wondering how you can become even more innovative. My name is Jürgen Strauss from InnovaBuzz, and this is the InnovaBuzz podcast, where we share all kinds of tips, advice and interview guests on all things innovation and leadership in modern marketing. Hi innovators, it's great to be back again. Now, we had a wonderful week in Port Vila, Vanuatu at our first Fast Business Mastery Summit for 2018, or FFBM 2018 for short. Of course, having said it's great to be back, I'm not quite so sure about the return to this freezing cold wintry weather here in Melbourne, and you can probably tell that my voice is already a bit croaky as a result. On today's episode, Joanne Clark of Destiny Pursuit Coaching and Training talks with me about some of the lessons that we took from the first Fast Business Mastery Summit. Both of us were trainers there, and as trainers at the summit, it's interesting to reflect on both the journey that the participants experienced, as well as what we experienced. And in addition, we look forward to what might happen at the 2019 summit. Without further ado then, let's fly into the hive and get the buzz about FFBM 2018. Hi, I'm Jürgen Strauss from InnovaBuzz, and welcome to this episode of the InnovaBuzz podcast, coming to you from Vanuatu. Now, we've just finished our first Fast Business Mastery Summit for 2018 here in Vanuatu, and I have with me one of the trainers that helped me run that event, Joanne Clark from Destiny Pursuit Coaching and Training.
Hi, Jürgen.
Hi, Joanne. Now, what we thought we'd do today is talk a little bit about lessons from running that event and what we observed in the participants and the journey that they went through in that particular event. And I did a blog post last year, just about a year ago now, talking about our previous event in Thailand, and I thought it would be a good idea to follow up after this event and do a review.
Great. Yep.
So, Joanne, what did you observe and what were the key takeaways for you in the event?
Well, one of the things that I've observed over my years as a business coach is the challenge that many, particularly small business owners, have with planning. And I was absolutely thrilled to see that this strategy that we implemented for the first time last year, and this is our second one, has worked a treat in terms of getting small business owners to really be able to focus on planning their business in a way that is both fun and effective in delivering results.
Yeah, what's exciting for me is, as I mentioned journey before, and it is indeed a journey where we went through the whole Disney creativity process, starting off with the big picture vision, looking at 10 years, thinking about where do each of the business owners want to be in 10 years' time, and then work that down into what ended up being a video marketing message based on the plan that they had built.
Yeah, because we were, with the business owners that were coming, we identified that one of their gaps was around marketing in particular. And so we really wanted to give them both the theoretical, practical, and some implementation experience around crafting a marketing message that really does work, and using a medium for capturing that marketing message that perhaps they're not so comfortable with, like video.
Yes. Now, one of the things that I always enjoy about these things is getting into an environment that is actually really relaxing and very fun, and yet at the same time the work we did was quite intense and invigorating. And it's great to get away from the day-to-day activities of working in your business for all of the participants and kind of stepping away from that and having a bit more of a helicopter view of what's going on and what the future might hold for them.
Yeah, and for me, it is really important that we're in a space that enables the business owners to be creative with their business. And that does mean taking a step away from the day-to-day activities in their business, which in a way kind of stifle their creativity because they get stuck in doing and reacting all the time. So being able to come away, really feel spoiled and looked after in a beautiful environment, and then focus on being creative with their business.
And we did a lot of fun activities, didn't we? Like one example, and if you've seen my Facebook Lives that I did every day, I mentioned that we sent people away one evening and gave them a photographic homework assignment to do, to take some photographs that represented something that we were working on at the time, which was Ideal Client. And we also had people drawing their vision in a visual way and drawing their ideal client in a visual way. So there was a lot of drawing, and there's some people quite artistic in how they did that. Unlike me, mine was all stick figures and funny lines and things. I had to explain what some of it was because he couldn't tell.
Yeah, so, part of that is getting people to use different modalities, so vision, hearing, feeling, auditory digital, as in analysing things. So we use all the different modalities, which means that no matter what your strength is, you have your opportunity to really be inspired and capture the information the way that works for you. And also for those who are being challenged and going outside their comfort zone, like you having to draw when we put you on the spot and you actually had to draw, it is bringing into the creative process a different way of thinking about things you think you know. So then you think, actually, I don't know how to draw this, or I don't know how to, and so you begin to be more creative around identifying, in this case, it was the ideal client exercise. And I think it worked really well. Well, I think our participants have said how much better they know their ideal clients now. And from that, the ease with which they can approach their marketing.
That's right. Yeah. So that was particularly funny when you put me on the spot there. I was presenting about ideal client, and then I said, let's all draw it, which I'd planned to do beforehand. And you said, how about you model that for us? So it raises another thing we wanted to talk about, but there I was on the spot and I had to start drawing, which was a bit challenging because I started with some stick figures and had to explain what they actually were, because it was really hard for most people to visually interpret that.
Yeah.
One of the things that I thought worked really well is that modelling aspect to demonstrate the thing that we were doing in a way that people could model from, rather than they didn't need to understand how it worked or what the outcome would be. They could model off that behaviour and then achieve the outcome very quickly. So I mentioned last year in reflecting on the thing how that was a really powerful accelerated learning strategy, and I think it worked really well this year. And one of the areas where I found it quite amazing, and in fact I was almost surprised in a way, was the ideal client one, where we did the drawing, then we went away and did photographs and put together pictures in a way that represented it visually, and then the next day we did the actual sweat room for the Disney Creativity. We did the sweat room work of completing a questionnaire and really digging into an in-depth understanding of our ideal client, and that went really well because people had already embraced a visual representation.
That's right. And that strategy of modelling and then getting people to do an exercise is really embedded in the NLP trainers structure. So bringing that structure into this summit, I think, makes it a lot easier for people to succeed, because they're learning and building a scaffold, if you like, for their knowledge before they're tested in terms of having to do something that they've never done before. So they've already seen it being done, and so unconsciously they've kind of got it, and then they go and play with it, and then when they come back also, the questions they ask are much more relevant and precise because they're based on experience and they're contrasting their behaviour, their experience doing the exercise against what they saw the model do. So they're noticing where there's gaps, and that always accelerates your learning because you can see where you still need to build your competence.
That's right, yeah. So one of the things that I was also really inspired by was how, with that modelling principle, how the participants that were there in Thailand last year had built up their expertise around the way we're approaching the whole exercise, that they could help other so the new participants this time around, the ones that were there the first time, how they could help them by modelling and help them learn more quickly.
Absolutely, and the pathway to mastery for yourself is, of course, to be teaching others, and having people who've come on the first year and then come back on the second year, being able to model for the new participants activities that they've done in the previous year definitely consolidated their mastery and understanding of their own business plan and their own, the structure around their business plan. And of course, if they have a team at home, they need to be able to do that when they go back home to explain their business plan to their team, so that they transfer the vision and the purpose and the journey that the business is on effectively to their team, so everybody's on the same bus, as I think Sharon Hill would describe it.
Yeah, that's right.
And heading in the same direction in their business. So it was totally awesome to see that this year.
Yeah, and of course the tool that we use to construct and record the plan for each of the businesses, I know many of the businesses do use that to explain to their team, here's where we're headed, this is the journey we're on, these are the key focus areas for the next 3 months, and here's how we're going to move forward, and here's where the end goal is, and this is how we're going to get there.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, so I'm really excited to watch the journey of those participants going forward, and I'm also really excited to look at what are we going to do next year.
Yeah.
I know you and I have had some conversations about possible locations, but what are some of the things that we've talked about doing next year that might add even more value to the participants?
Yeah, well, I know that the overall structure that we've got definitely works and definitely delivers results for businesses. We can see that from the businesses last year that have kicked goals and in one instance, almost doubled their business capacity to earn income in just 12 months. So, really we know the structure works. The thing now for us, I think, is to be looking at where the gaps are in terms of, as the businesses grow, where their gaps are. And I think that a couple of ideas we had around that were looking at perhaps the structure of translating the plan into an implementation document when they get back home. I'll be watching with interest to see how well that transition occurs and how smoothly it occurs this year, because we did a little bit of work around that, but I think that might be an area where we could also do more work. And then they totally love the marketing. So I think going home with a marketing product locked and loaded, ready to launch in their suitcase on the way home next year would be wonderful, a wonderful gift for them to have.
And we've talked about ways that we might be able to do that. And I think also, this is a personal favourite of mine because I love photography, as most of my audience would know. We did one exercise with photography. I had planned to do two. We talked a little bit about using the photography to give them something visual that they could take back in the form of maybe their own portrait or them enjoying themselves in that location with some of the things that they've said superimposed on that as a motivational, what do they call those? The motivational photos that people have in their offices or something, but having that as highly personalised because it's something that they've said, some light bulb moment that they've achieved during the event, of which there were many this time around, and certainly in Thailand also there were many. And having that as a visual for them.
Yeah, but don't give away all the surprises, Jürgen.
No, okay.
The other thing I think worked really well this year that we'll do again next year is we had a rest day in the middle or a recreation day in the middle. Some people chose to use it to contemplate and reflect on what they'd done. Others chose it to go off and go horse riding and swimming with the horses in the ocean, or to go on a sunset cruise or do some other activity. So I'm looking forward to keeping that in the program and allowing people the opportunity to really savour the environment and spend some time with like-minded businesses having just a really, really good time.
Yeah, I agree. I think that worked really well, that rest day. And even those people that went and did activities, there's a lot of reflection going on in that, because a lot of the times that became a metaphor for something that they were doing. So it was all part of that journey.
Even found a few ideal clients on the way.
That's right, yeah. All right, well, I think that probably covers it. So in summary, what are maybe three of the big points and we'll mention that we do have a page for next year's registration, of which I don't remember the URL. I might have to post it in the show notes.
Yeah, so the three of the big highlights, I think, was being able to have the previous participants from 2017 in the room modelling for the new participants for 2018 and seeing how well that worked for both of them, how well that added to the process. I also think that having the beautiful venue, certainly we would be looking at keeping the standard of venue and facilities up, because it definitely helps people when they don't have to deal with logistics or problems when they're travelling overseas and visiting somewhere in a relatively short time. So making sure that's all taken care of again, and maybe some other exciting things that we can add in next year. I think a highlight for me is really getting creative and thinking about next year at the end of this year. So that's really a highlight for me too.
Yeah. And for me, the week getting away, certainly in June, so we're planning to do it in June again next year in 2019, getting away for those people in Victoria and where most of all of the businesses this year were from. It's an opportunity to get away from sort of the depths of winter as well into something more tropical environment. And we're certainly anticipating that next year there will be some international guests as well. So it might be from Europe or North America. Now that they will be entering their summer, but they can come and enjoy a really nice tropical remote location. And again, like we said, get away from the day-to-day running of their business, get together with like-minded businesses, all of whom are absolutely awesome, and enjoy that transformational journey together with those businesses. So if you are interested in pre-registering for the summit next year, the link is firstfastbusinessmastery.com/summit 2019. So I'll have a link to that in the show notes directly so that you don't have to remember that. But it is firstfastbusinessmastery.com/summit 2019.
And that's an application.
That's right. That's an application just registering interest at this stage. Yep. And once you've done that, we'll get in touch with you and we'll talk to you and make sure that you are a good fit for the program and that the program would be suitable for you. So we're not wanting to take everybody into the program. We want people that are a good fit, that are going to get value out of it and also are going to contribute to the overall success of the program. All right. Thanks very much, Joanne.
Thank you. Thank you, Jürgen.
Fun to wrap that up.
I hope you found our thoughts and reflections on the First Fast Business Mastery Summit of 2018 of use and valuable. The show notes for this episode, as well as some photographs, can be found at InnovaBuzz.co/FFBM2018. All lowercase, all one word, InnovaBuzz.co/FFBM2018. If you'd like to register your interest for the First Fast Business Mastery Summit in 2019, which will be in June of 2019, probably middle of the month, at a tropical location that we've yet to decide, then go to firstfastbusinessmastery.com/summit 2019 and complete the pre-registration form there. Now, at this stage, it's just a registration or an indication of interest, and we'll be in touch to interview you once you've pre-registered, because first of all, places are limited, and secondly, we want to make sure that we only have businesses there who will both benefit from the experience and also contribute to the experience of everyone at the event as well. Now, we're looking to take 10 to 15 businesses next year, so places are limited, and if you think this is something that can benefit you and your business, head on over to firstfastbusinessmastery.com/summit 2019 now. Stay connected. Head on over to iTunes or Stitcher or Pocket Casts and subscribe to the InnovaBuzz podcast so you make sure you'll never miss another episode. We'd also love you to leave us a review, because what you think matters. Take some of the ideas you've heard today and apply them in your business. Any thoughts, ideas, suggestions or questions, share them in the comments below the blog post. And remember, if you want to get better marketing results than you ever have, join our fantastic LinkedIn community at the Transformational Marketing Academy. All you have to do is go to innovabiz.co/TMAC. It's free to join. Hope to see you there soon. Until next time, I'm Jürgen Strauss from InnovaBizz. Remember to be awesome and keep innovating.